is busy. Jay Busy. Jay Busy.
Okay. So it's a little bit easier to get in, and there are little tricks of the trade to get a down payment, like our SP loans, where you can take a loan out from the bank, put the money into the RSP, and then you can withdraw whatever you put in your RSP for your first time buyers.
Right.
First, the incentive for RSP loans or RSPs to buy your first house.
So take a loan from the bank that's gonna rob me anyways, and then take the money back out from the bank that's gonna rob me for the second time. And in order to buy, listen, you know what? That's the whole thing is that I think for a lot of us, myself included, when we get into the housing market or we're looking about getting into the housing market, we don't have the proper education, right? We listen to certain people or here there, but we actually don't see or hear what's going on, and we rely on our realtor to give us most of the information that we're looking for. But then they don't tell you that you're going to get hit with, if you're buying a new property, then you're going to get hit with this tax, or you're going to get hit with the GST, or you're going to get hit with the security deposits, or the hidden stuff that's in your contract about grading, and whether they put a deck, or they don't have the deck. That's all extra money that at the end, when you sign and everything, and you look and you're like, well, where did this come from?
Right. I think that comes from, one, working with the wrong realtor, and two, a lot of times, especially with pre-construction, like you mentioned, deck is an extra amount. A lot of realtors don't fully read that contract. Yeah. They would most likely take the contract, give it to a lawyer to have them review it, and then the lawyer would explain everything in the contract.
Yeah.
So that's how that usually happens. But I'm surprised, when I speak to sellers and I let them know that the commission had the HST on top of the whatever percentage is negotiated, they're surprised to hear that there's HST on top of it.
When you told me that the other day, I was like, what do you mean? HST, you guys are already robbing me. I'm like, I shouldn't say that you're robbing me. You guys got to get paid. And most realtors will take 2.5%, which means that the other person is going to get 2.5%. So that's 5%. So let's work it out on an $800,000 sale. That's $40K gone.
Plus HST.
Oh, sorry, plus HST. Just for the selling of the house.
That goes to who?
That goes to who? Who's the HST going to? Well, the government. But
HST goes straight to the government.
You get half of that 40, so you get $20,000.
Yes.
Selling the house.
Yes.
That's some good money right there. But
it's not bad.
It's not bad. But how many houses do you have to sell in order to have that? Because I would imagine that you're selling what? How many houses do you sell a year?
This year, to be honest, I sold 6.
Oh, okay. So you're one of those guys. See it? Man, this guy making money. So at $20,000, that's $120,000. Let's just call it rounded up. If you're making, I don't know, I'm just saying, $120,000 for you. That's not a bad salary.
No,
when you think about it.
Very true, but that's not all income. There are our dues that we have to pay to Toronto Regional Real Estate Board.
Right.
We do have to pay RECO, Real Estate Council of Ontario, for insurance. So if I mess up the sale of your house and you say, hey, you did X, Y, Z, I want to be compensated, you can go to RECO, file a complaint, and then RECO will fine me and you'll get paid. People don't know that either. Okay. You can also look at complaints about whatever realtor there is. So if there's a complaint about me, you can find that at RECO.
On RECO?
Yeah. Okay. Not a complaint. It has to be, they have to go through the process, and
it has to be
minutes.
Right. Yeah. Yes. And then prove that you were at fault. And then it goes on record.
Yeah.
That, this guy, don't trust him.
Right. Yes. Yes. And I'm happy to say you will not find anything on my name there.
Well, that's good. Yeah. That's good. See, you got that innocent looking face. I'm gonna trust that.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Well, so Now,
Also, sorry,
sorry.
you have to advertise your place for sale. That requires money.
Yeah.
We have to, well, we don't have to stage, but I stage. That requires money.
Yeah, but that money's coming from me. Yes.
Just so you know, it can come in terms of, there's so many ways to structure it. Sometimes you as a seller, some realtors will ask you to pay for staging.
Right.
That's it. Others, like in this economy where it's slower to sell, I have asked my clients to pay for it up front, and then when the home sells, I reimburse it,
Right.
so it's not out of pocket for you.
Yeah.
And then that's pretty much it. And some don't stage, but then when your property goes on the market and it doesn't look that great, and we're not getting the amount of people that we need to sell your home, that's a problem.
Yeah. And staging, I find that staging always works. Most of the houses that you see, or even, HGTV, that's one of the shows that I love to watch, and about staging your home and stuff. That's just 101, unless you're like certain people whose houses are always staged,
Yes.
kept that way, then it works out. But okay, so now, because we're talking about finances and generally talking about what you guys make, so if you pay for your realtor board, and you pay for the, what do you say, Rico,
Yep.
pay for Rico, what do you, on the $20,000 that you make, just roughly, off of a house, what do you actually take home?
Maybe 12.
Well,
We have to pay dues to our brokerage as well,
yeah.
and a commission split. Some brokerages don't take a commission split. They'll take monthly fees and a transaction fee.
Right.
Where I'm at, I pay a fee
Yeah.
per transaction. I pay commission split, and I pay monthly dues.
What's a commission split? So you get 2.5%.
Yeah.
And then your company takes what? 5%? 0.5%?
Well, I mean,
Or you can't say, I know you can't.
yeah, I won't say the percentage because
Everybody's different.
everybody's different. Even at my brokerage, there are different splits.
Okay.
Whether you're newer
Right.
or you're not, or you've hit 100 grand or not.
Right.
But it could be anywhere from 30% they take to 10%.
So you make that, and now somebody's coming and take 30% of your money that you just made. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they provide a lot of value. Everybody, I work for Royal LePage Signature, and their value is providing us with the tools that we need to help us succeed. It essentially helping us work with our clients.
Right.
So a lot of training, a lot of resources, that kind of thing.
Okay. So it's worth it then.
Yeah.
All right. See, this is why I'm not into it. Now, okay. So what about those guys that you see advertised, or the realtors will always say, hey, listen, you know what? I got a guy that can give you, if you can't go to the bank, or you're having difficulties, and you go from an A-lister bank now a B-lister bank, which has all kind of issues as well. We won't get into that, but and then you have the cash guys, right? Have you dealt with any of the cash guys that will say, listen, if we can't get it, we can always go to this dude who can front the money? Is that an option?
I haven't.
No.
What you're speaking of, it sounds, is that like a legal thing or?
No. It's a private, private lender.
Yeah, I have. For myself. It's if you can avoid it, by all means necessary, avoid it, because it's expensive.
Really?
Yeah, 11% interest. We were talking about 7%.
Yeah.
I was paying 11%. It's nothing nice.
Yeah.
And that was it was on a smaller amount.
Right.
So I can only imagine if you have a big mortgage and you're paying 11%. At points of time, it was like 15%, 16%.
Yeah.
That's difficult to pay.
All right, but would it be?
It should be a short-term solution.
Okay,
That's what it is.
fair enough. So if I mean, we touched upon it a little bit, but if we're doing investing, that would be more something to invest if you were flipping, right? To do a private lender instead of going back, because with the private lender, it's open And if you're flipping it anyways, then you don't have to deal with the bank and whatnot, so forth, right?
Yes.
It's money here, flip, they walk away with their money and bring it a little bit of change and go from there. So that's a little bit better.
Yes, in terms of if you know you're gonna have the house finished by a certain time and sold.
Right.
But a lot of flippers got caught when the market turned,
Right.
thinking they'll sell for X amount, and they couldn't get that.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where it becomes difficult.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's buying. Selling,
Yes. You have to. It's not the best time
not the best time to.
by any means. But there are people that do have to sell,
Yeah.
or it makes sense for them to sell.
Yeah.
This year, the people that I've sold for, they either weren't living in the home, their mother died,
Yeah.
and they needed to sell their mother's
Yeah.
home, and the downsizers.
Right.
Right, they were like 70, almost 80 years old, and the stairs were becoming a problem for them.
Right.
So they sold. So it made sense for them to sell.
Of course. Yeah.
And also, like downsizing right now makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, what the downsizing to what? Like if you're accustomed to a certain size of home or thing, yes, when you're coming up into retirement or your kids, if you have kids and they're grown enough and you can throw them off into the snow, you know, you know, then you can get that done.
Yeah.
But if you're just downsizing because you can't afford your home, which some people can't, so you got to downsize. Can you get back into that market? Like it's as you're saying, we're not supposed to sell, or it's a bad time to sell unless you absolutely have to.
Right.
So do you think that next year the market is going to come back a little bit?
I wish I had the crystal ball.
I know you don't, but based on your knowledge in the industry and what you've been doing, what you've been seeing, because everything's a pattern, right? Life is a pattern. Everything's a pattern. Goes up, goes down. You get plateau, when it goes up, comes back down. So based on the pattern, do you think that next year is going to be at least half and half, where it could be both a buyer's and a seller's market, depending on location and
Right.
whatnot, so forth?
I'll say this. I think a lot of us, based on patterns, thought this was going to be the year that the market came back.
Right.
And one thing, pun intended, trumped that. And his name is Donald Trump. Nobody foresaw him trying to change the whole landscape of trade across nations in the world. And when he did that, he essentially slowed down our housing market, because we don't know if businesses will be able to sell the same amount that we used to, because our biggest trading partner is the US.
Yeah.
And with that comes, well, as we've been seeing, layoffs and a lot of uncertainty and the lack of confidence in income. So with that said, a lot of people are not buying. Our CEO the other day showed a graph of the number of transactions that happen per year.
Right.
And the number of transactions is similar to all the years of the past, except it's lower in buying and selling and higher in renting,
Right.
because that's a long-term gain
Right.
of the buying. And if you don't know where your income's coming from, or if you're going to have an income at the end of the year, probably it doesn't make sense to buy.
No, it does. It doesn't. You're right. Because with that guy, Trump, he's throwing tariffs on lumber and steel and this and that, and everything like that plays into building a house. Right. And there's a lot of people that were working for certain companies that layoffs are coming heavy because of the tariffs, because they're not selling. So yeah, you're right. People have to look at that in terms of, I can't afford to buy because I might not have a job.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
And it's sad that we rely heavily on the states in that aspect, considering we do have a lot of lumber, we do produce steel, you know. And I always, as a sidebar, I always find it funny that we make all this stuff, we export it to the States refines it, and then sells it back to us at a higher price.
Yep.
Where if we just built refineries here, man, what do we do?
Exactly. Exactly. It makes sense.
You know, well, I'm not in the government, but I'm just saying that would make sense to me.
Yeah.
You know,
I see it the same way.
it's like, hey, listen, I have this, I'm going to give it to you so you can turn around and sell it back to me at higher. What the hell am I doing that?
Right? Where's the sense in that?
There's no sense in that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
If you just tune in, you listen to The Streets is Busy. Live direct, it's 12:48 in the PM. And we're on My Line Radio. Phone number 416-804-8244. Hit us up. We're going to commercial in about 12 minutes or so. You know, just so I can let you breathe. You know, a little bit. But we're talking about buying and selling investments. We're going to hit investments and the downfalls of investments, properties, and just things that you can do in general to make sure that your house is ready so that if you have to sell, you're not going through a major makeover or anything like that. People are saying right now that you don't have to do it. Back in the day, you used to do, which actually made no sense, but you used to renovate your home in order to sell it, right? Like you lived there for 20 years and then all of a sudden you're doing the floors, you're changing the kitchen and blah, blah, blah to sell the home. But you didn't do that while you were living there.
Right.
Now, the question is, do you still need to do that in sense of, are people now saying, okay, well, if you haven't done, I know it makes more money, but if you haven't done anything to the house, you haven't upgraded or renovated, is that still a big concern for more people, or are people automatically going to renovate anyway so they don't care?
There's two different ways to look at that. And one is, if you spend the money on the renovations, as you mentioned, somebody will come in there and then re-renovate,
Right.
which makes no sense. But you want the home to look attractive enough to bring people to see it.
Right.
So there are certain things I would recommend in a house to do and things to leave.
Okay, such as?
Red carpets. I think
What?
those should be.
You don't love the red carpets, man?
I don't like red. I don't like shag.
You're West Indian. You know that West Indian people always have pink carpets in the house. That
Listen, when I looked at old pictures of my parents' house, we had red carpets.
see there.
Right.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
But right now is not that time. It's not that time. And when people see that, they're gonna look at your house on the market, compare it to something else,
Yeah.
and automatically assume there's going to be more work in that house than compared to something that doesn't have the carpet,
Right.
or even has like a newer carpet.
Okay. So no red carpets, no pink carpets.
Correct.
Neutral colors, beige. What about gray?
Depends how it looks.
Okay.
Depends how it looks. Everything depends, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the name of the game is attraction
Right.
and attention. And if you can get the attention of buyers that they want to reach out to an agent to go see a house, that is the main concern.
But the red carpets is attention seeker, man. It's like, bam, you're looking at, damn, got the red carpet there.
I mean, we have positive attention and negative attention, and that's probably going to be negative.
Okay. All right. So no red carpets, people. What about flooring? No carpets. What about hardwood? Is that a stickler, or vinyl? Vinyl. Is that a stickler?
I think old vinyl, it really depends. Like, if the home is like completely dated and somebody is looking at it to do the renovations, then it doesn't matter. Even the red carpet, if the home looks like a home to renovate. But as a seller, if you're looking to get the most, as much value as you can out of the house, you're probably going to want to do those renovations.
Okay. So what about paint?
I mean, we prefer neutral colors on the wall, as most buyers would, like an off-white, and there's like hundreds of different whites.
Yeah.
So I don't want to just say white, but
Yeah,
beige, something like what I'm wearing right now. That would work in a home. That will attract people, or it might not even attract, but it won't deter people from seeing the house.
Because this is easy if I don't like that color, I can then switch it. It's white-ish,
Right.
you know, or gray-ish. That's not too, but you know, like a fluorescent orange. that might be a
Like your backdrop.
like my backdrop. That
Yeah.
might be an issue.
Or your shirt.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that would probably be an issue.
All right.
But for the right buyer, if somebody's looking to do renovations
Yeah.
and they're probably trying to get a cheap price, that works for them.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to sell your home for the cheapest price, you want your home to look a certain way.
All right. What about fixtures? What about the kitchen? You know, if you don't renovate your kitchen, you bought it new, you haven't renovated your kitchen, you know, you put up the black splash and stuff like that. It looks nice. But is that a deterrent as well? Or should you go and spend the money and get the what's it, marble, or not marble, there's a composite thing. I can't remember what it's called.
Quartz.
Quartz, yeah,
Yeah.
quartz or something like that.
Yes. I don't think if you're selling, you should put in quartz because it's expensive. It's not cheap.
Yeah.
Cheaper than marble, but still not cheap. And with that, you don't know if that color that you're going to choose is going to resonate with buyers. So my thing is, like, with buyers, you have to assume that when they walk into the house, they're not going to see the vision.
Right,
So it should be as plain as possible,
right,
so it doesn't deter them again. They may not love everything, but they're not going to say, ew, this is nasty.
right.
And that's what you're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
But kitchens do retain value if you do renovate.
Yeah,
Bathrooms retain value.
yeah.
And depending on the neighborhood, basement apartments will add value.
Yeah. And what about outdoor, like outdoor space? Because I know outdoor space, a lot of people, backyards, do all kind of things in the backyards, put in the deck, you know, gazebo, the whole nine, and think make it an extra space. Does also bring up the price of your home?
Not necessarily, depending. If somebody's buying and they have, for example, they're looking at renting out their basement or
Right.
something like that, it might not add much value. But if you like entertaining,
Right,
then you might pay a premium for that.
right,
Like in COVID, when we were restricted to being indoors,
right,
having a pool was a big thing, and that added value to homes.
right.
Where usually, like in the past, it didn't add value.
Yeah.
It was only if somebody's looking for a pool, they would buy a house with a pool.
Right.
All right. So
All right. So, if you're going to sell your house, what kind of, let's say, budget should you have on minor renovations? And I won't say full renovations, but like, let's say your basement's unfinished. You know, you got carpet, hardwood, whatever, paint. What should you typically, and then you have to declutter, but what should you typically look at for renovating or for getting your house prepared for sale? What do you think is a good safeguard budget? You know, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 10,000.
that is a good question. I've never had that question before.
So there you go.
Ever in 9 years. So, I know painting is not cheap. That in itself can cost between 3,000 and 5,000,
Yeah.
or and above, maybe 10 if you're doing your whole entire house.
Yeah.
A room could cost 500,
Yeah.
depending on the size. So let's say 5,000 for paint. Fixtures like door handles and
Yeah.
whatnot, you don't necessarily have to
Right.
change, so you can leave that.
What about light switches?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Those are okay because those are easy to change for the new buyer as well.
Mhm.
It's more of the cosmetic things that will deter people. So like I actually walked through a condo of a potential client in this neighborhood, and right when I walk in, I see like scuffs on her wall.
Right.
So that wall could be painted.
Right.
I saw her door handles. Some of the doors are off the hinges.
Right.
Those have to be put back on. You can't,
Right.
right? The camera will
Yeah.
pick that up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So things like that. Her appliances aren't working. Working appliances shouldn't be in the house. So you either have to get a repair person to fix that, or go to a scratch and dent place and get some cheap appliances.
Yeah.
Right? So it really just depends on what your house looks like now and what the deficiencies are,
Right.
and we have to go over that. So
Okay.
if you have 15,000, you should be okay.
Yeah.
But if your house is in disrepair, then
You're gonna expect to spend more.
Yeah.
Or sell it for cheap as was. And
right. Yeah, you can sell it as is. Just you have to temper your expectations.
Yeah.
Don't expect to get what your neighbor sold if their house is renovated
Right.
and yours is not.
right. That makes sense. Yeah. Well, we've got some other questions and some other concerns, but you know what? We're gonna go commercial. We got 3 minutes, so we're gonna go commercial and come back, and we'll be talking with Odane Harding, realtor, expert. Well, almost an expert. You got 1 more year before you can consider an expert, because being an expert, you gotta have 10 years. 10 years working. That's the lot. 10,000 hours or
10,000 hours.
10,000 hours, which equates to 10 years.
Yes. Yep.
You're almost there, man. You got
Mhm.
1 more year, and then we can say you're an expert. And I'm gonna have you on the show, so we're talking to the expert.
I like the sound.
Talking to the experts, Odane Harding. Again, we're gonna come back. We're gonna go for a little commercial. When we come back, we'll be speaking to Odane Harding, realtor, professional, soon to be expert. Right here on my live radio. The streets is busy. You heard? Let's get into that commercial. Gotta pay some bills.